Hi, this is Robin, sorry, with Stamp with Dr. Robin. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in San Diego, California, where the sun is out, but the air is cool, so I'm still freezing here. But I'm loving the sun. It is so nice if we're sitting in the sun. So hopefully it is starting to be spring weather where you are, and the snow is melting and such. And hopefully we'll get some people on here to say hi to. Anyway, so in a couple days, the demonstrators get to see the new catalog. Hey, Doris, thanks for coming on. I was starting to feel lonely here. I was saying in a couple days, we demonstrators do get to see the new catalog, and everybody will get to see the list of, hey, Flossie, glad you made it. Everybody in a couple days will get to see the list of what's retiring, what's carrying over, both in the new catalog as well as in the January through April catalog. They both end, I believe it's May 1st at the same time. So that's pretty exciting, because when we get to see the new catalog, we also get to see the new in colors. And remember, we got 5 in colors, the 21-23 in colors that are going away, and we'll get 5 new ones. But they're also saying we're getting a color refresh, which means we'll get a whole bunch of new ones. Don't know how many, don't know what's going away yet, but in a few days I will know. So I decided today to take the opportunity to work with some of these 21-23 in colors. Well, actually not some of them, all of them. Because honestly, in the 6 years I've been a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and even longer being a Stampin' Up customer, these are my absolute favorite in colors. There's not a single one that I don't love. I'm really, really hoping some of them are going to carry over and be just regular old colors and stick around for a while, because I don't know what I'm going to do without those. Especially, I've learned to love especially the 2 greens, Soft Succulent and Evening Evergreen, and the Fresh Freesia. I'd have to say those are my top 3, and I hope at least some are going to be in the new color refresh. So do you guys have a favorite of the in colors that might be going away? I'd love to hear what it is. And in a few days we can stop speculating, but for right now it's speculation. So I decided today was going to be about the in colors, and we're actually going to try to get 2 pretty easy cards made today, but both of them show you different ways to use all the in colors. So let me just put you down here so we can see what's going on. So we did talk about what are the in colors, but in case you've forgotten, here they are: Pale Papaya, Fresh Freesia, Evening Evergreen, Polished Pink. Oh wait, Soft Succulent. Did I say Evening Evergreen? Soft Succulent, Polished Pink, Evening Evergreen. Like I said, the 2 greens happen to be my favorite, as well as the Fresh Freesia. And today we're going to use actually all of them, because they go so nicely together and they're just so beautiful. So let's move the colors out of the way. So we're going to make 2 cards. First, we're going to use all the different inks to make this card, and then we're going to use all the different papers to make this card. And besides the colors, the other thing these have in common is actually I'm using my Stamparatus on both of them for stamping both this solid. I found it best for stamping this solid sentiment, as well as I wasn't sure when I was going to stamp this, if I was going to be able to get a good stamp once through. And once I'd gotten all of these done, of course I didn't want to screw that up, so I thought, you know what, I'll use the Stamparatus. I can always restamp if I need to. I think I stamped this one twice, but that's the one we're going to start with first. So for these little rectangles, I use this stamp from Watercolor Shape. The other thing I wanted to do today was to go back to the annual catalog and have a look at some things that I haven't used before, or haven't used in a while, and that would be these watercolor shapes, as well as the Dragonfly Garden I used for that picture. You know, we got a lot of use out of this in the beginning, but not so much lately. And then I also wanted to point out a couple sentiment sets that are in the annual catalog that you may have missed because we tend to, you know, our eyes tend to go first to all those pretty pictures. But these have been amazing sentiment sets for me. This one has some great Christmas ones, but I love some of these condolence things. You know, nice with heartfelt sympathy, and this for the inside, sheltering you with love at a time when words fall short. Just a really nice thing to be able to say to people. And then just a lot of little ones and through it together about getting through things. So again, two just great sentiment things. I'm using the Get Well Soon from this one because I'm in need of some Get Well cards. So let's get going. Now, I'm hoping I can do this. This is always harder to do in front of a bunch of people, but I did manage to get that all nicely lined up when I did it the first time, so we'll see if we can do it when everybody's watching. So I kind of worked from lightest to darkest, and I'm going to have to, where'd it go? Use this watercolor world thing, and we're going to have to just wash it in between each use. So first would be try to get it on here straight to start with, and maybe right in the middle. One down. I'm going to close them up as we go, and then I'm going to wash it off. I've got my little scrubber here. I don't think you have to watch me watch it each time, but one thing I am going to do is I'm going to stamp it off a little bit on my grid paper, and I'm also going to stamp this once. So just in case there's a bunch of water left on here, obviously I don't want that on my page. Now it looks like I have pretty juicy stamp pads, and that's why you're seeing kind of these little bubbles on here, but that's okay. The watercolor what's it called? Watercolor shapes are not solid anyway. And again, this is the polished pink. We're going to stamp that one off. Hey, Robbie, glad you could join us. We are playing with the soon-to-be retired in colors today. Wash off, stamp off. And again, let's just stamp one off. Sometimes when I use this soft succulent, I actually stamp it off. It's such a beautiful color, and it's sometimes even prettier when you use the lighter version of it. Let's wash off, stamp off. And again, I'm just going to stamp it off. Just make sure you don't have any around the edges. Good. Yay, managed to make it through that. And I'm going to get my little Get Well Soon That one is from that Threw It Together set. And just put that down in the corner there. All right. Now we're going to get out our Stamparatus. I'll have to try to remember, I think, whoops. Let's turn it over so you all can see. I had it here, but I'm not quite sure. That actually looks pretty good. Okay, so one thing that's kind of a little hint on using the Stamparatus is to always take one of your stamp pads and put it underneath here, because that just makes it so much easier to ink it up. And then just make sure, oh, you know what I didn't do? Dang. See how I have those little red marks there? That's where I put my thing both times. What I didn't do was to hold it down with one of our magnets in case I needed to do this again. Now, I think that looks pretty good, but we'll just do it one more time. Hey Roz, hi Vicky, hi Linda. I'm going to do it one more time just to make sure that it got everything. Oh, that's even more dramatic, isn't it? All right, I think that's good. And that was just with our Memento Black. Okay, now let's just finish up this card, because that was the hard part there. This piece of paper that we used was is 3 3/4 by 5, and then I've got a piece of the Evening Evergreen here, and that's just 1/8 of an inch bigger, so 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. I love having just those little 1/8 of an inch borders on here. Just makes it a little more dramatic. And this is just a regular Fresh Freesia card base. It is 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. I decided, you know, everything needs at least one set of dimensionals, don't you think? How can you make a card without at least a few dimensionals? So I decided to pop the whole thing up. Remember I said this whole thing was about, and so I wanted them to be the star without a lot of everything else. And then we've got our, oh gosh, it's always hard for me to say this, brushed brass butterflies. If you say it slow, it's easier. And I just gonna put one of the big ones on here and one of the baby ones. I love these butterflies. I'm starting to put them on basically any card that has I don't know, something that's flowery looking. And maybe even, I didn't get this out yet, so give me a second. I didn't put anything on the inside, so maybe we'll get maybe these little butterflies. Where'd they go? There we go. We need something on the inside, don't we? Memento ink again. That one already has a boo-boo on that side. There we go. Now we got some pretty butterflies to put on the inside. I just cut this piece of paper. I don't know how it got black on it. It must be on my hands because I already got some on this side. All right. That's card number 1 of our Let's Play with In Colors. So now we've got card number 2. Did I even show you card number 2? I think I did. So that one used all the different In Colors in their ink, and now we're going to use all the different In Colors in the paper. So for this time I'm using the Best Butterfly set. So the butterflies came from there. I cut one of each of these in the black, and so did the sentiment. So we're going to start with all of the pretty In Colors again. So this is paper cut from all the In Colors, and each of these are 1 inch by 3 3/4. And the first thing we're going to do, let me just move these out of my way a little bit, is we have another piece of the white that is 3 3/4 by 5 again. The other thing I like about today is they're all the same size. And we are just going to fit these all on here. Of course, I could just put glue all around here, couldn't I? But I'm having fun doing it this way. We've got our polished pink. Can you guys actually name all the In Colors without looking? Takes me 2 years to figure it out, and then guess what? More new In Colors coming our way. And Soft Succulent. It's so funny how when all the new In Colors come out, there's always one that you think you're going to like the best, and then it turns, at least for me anyway, it turns out that there's a different one that becomes a favorite. And Evening Evergreen. So now we got that whole thing completely covered up. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to emboss this. So give it, I don't know if you guys noticed that there's a little embossing on this card. And these are from our new online exclusive. They come as a set of 3. Oh, we got a couple more people. Thank you, Vicki. Hi, Rose. Hi, Jean. So we've got 3 new embossing folders. You get them all together. The little hashtaggy one is the one I used before. We got the dots, and we got these ones that look like flowers. What do you guys think? I think I'm going to use a different one this time. I think I'm going to use this flowery one. So nobody's written down to tell me which In Color is their favorite. Do you guys have a favorite? I don't see that anybody's answering. All right. So do you guys know about this line down here? This is so that you can keep everything straight. I'm not good at straight, so I love this line. And then we'll get our embossing machine, and remember, all we need is the base plate and the number 4 plate when we're using these thick embossing folders. And it just slides through so easily. Come on. It's just hard to turn at this angle, but it does slide through easily. All right, let's see how it looks with the little flower. Oh, wow, that's pretty. That's really pretty. It's just pretty like that. Let's just leave it, right? All right, and then our next thing, I think, and then we'll just put it all together at the end, is we're going to just take this little 3/4 inch strip, and we're back to using our favorite, Stamparatus. But what I don't remember is where I put this. And let's put it like this. And then we'll see where I put this. Need to go up a little. I guess I didn't have it on one of my lines. So much for using your lines. Okay, but once you get it sort of in the middle, I'll move it over just a little bit. Like I said, this strip is just basic white, and it's 3/4 inch. Put it up just a smidgen more. Okay, now I'm going to use my magnets. You see I got my magnets with duct tape on them. And that's because they are so strong. If they clasp together, it's really hard to get them apart. I think I'm going to have to do it like this. And then you have the duct tape helps you pull them apart. Okay, I remember what I said about putting something on here like that. Again with our Memento Black. It's really helpful to use the Stamparatus when you have like a filled in image, you know, like one of these, or, you know, words, etc. So look, see, look, I didn't get the T at all. Let's move this down a little bit. That probably didn't help. And the U, the beginning of this looked pretty good. But we're going to do the second part again. So let's make sure we get that T really good. Hey, Vicky, if you're watching, I don't think I've seen you. You told me you were going to give me something that would help me smush on here. There we go. See what a difference just doing this twice makes? And now we've got this perfectly done sentiment that we wouldn't have been able to do nearly so well if we had done it just without the Stamparatus. So, Stamparatus to the rescue. Okay, where can I put this that I won't make a mess out of it? Okay, so now it's time to make our card. Oh, one thing I did on the other one that I haven't done, and I actually could have done this before, but you know what, when I did it for real last time, I did it afterwards also, which I took some of these little dots. Dots are wonderful. Everybody needs at least one stamp set with dots. These dots happen to come from Forever Fern. I have a feeling this is going away because it's been in our annual catalog for 2 or 3 years now. If you don't have this stamp set and dies, you are missing out. I don't have the dies out here yet. Some of them cut out some of these, but some of them just make gorgeous leaves and such. You know what I'm going to do before I stamp on here? I'm going to just stamp on the back, yep, and just make sure it's still going to work. Notice that I'm doing some full strength and then just kind of stamp around. Can't hardly even see it on the Evening Evergreen. I've loved using the Evening Evergreen as kind of another neutral. You know, when I want something dark, the Evening Evergreen ink is really, really dark. So it's almost like using some more black. All right, so again, this piece was 5 by 3 3/4, and then we have a piece of black, basic black, that's just 1/8 of an inch bigger, so 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. This is where I love my glue when we've got one of these 3D embossing folders. To me, it's the only thing that really holds it in good place there. I just hold it for here for a second because I want to make sure it's sticking well. And then we've got a piece of polished pink and just regular cards base size, 8.5 by 5.5. Scored at 4 1/4. Again, I'm just going to glue this down because we already have our dimensions with our butterflies. All right, I'm going to take our little sentiment and cut it down to size. And okay, where's my butterflies? There we go. So I have one of each of the butterflies, and I'm gonna just curl them up a little bit so they have a little dimension also. And let's just see where our placement's gonna work before I glue this down. So I'm going to glue this down and pop up the butterflies. I could do the opposite. I could, you know, glue down the butterflies and pop this up, but I decided to go for this. Now, last time what I used on the butterflies were these little foam strips. The other thing you could use is you could use your black dimensionals, but then you'd have to cut them all down. But those would be nice. Maybe we should write in and tell them to have black foam strips, because then you wouldn't be able to see them as much. But the foam strips are definitely easy. And don't forget to use these little parts on the outside. That's what I was using here. Were just these little parts on the outside that go around the actual strip. Because guess what? They work just as well. See? And then we just need a little piece of one of these for the back of this one. I love how Stampin' Up! Makes the butterflies like just the exact right size so that the foam strips do work well on them. Now, thanks for that little tip, Roz, about putting some glue dot on there. I don't know, I find that glue dots will sometimes pull off on it. So I got 1 vote for soft succulent. Don't have any other votes for any of the other colors here. Or maybe you guys are like me, you're having a hard time deciding. And I think this time we're gonna make this one a little fancier by putting a little wink of Stella on the wings. I always do my wink of Stella at the end because It does need to sit for a little bit. Undisturbed. Maybe we'll put them on. And then I'm thinking we might just need a little bling. So use a few of these little in-color dots that match all our in-colors absolutely perfectly. So I could use, I suppose, any of them. These ones are supposed to be fresh freesia. They look almost clear, don't they? Huh, those don't have enough color for me for this. Maybe we'll try some pale papaya ones. We'll put them in, whoops, right in the center of some of those. What do you think about that? That's pretty. There's a big one. Whoops, stay. Should we use maybe... Yeah, Linda, I had a feeling that that was part of it, that people were having a hard time figuring out which was a favorite. I don't like the soft succulent on here. I think I'm going to just keep going with another pale papaya one. Let's do a baby one. Wow, too many choices here. All right, now ours has a little bit of bling on it too. What do you guys think? So pretty. So let's bring back, you guys have a favorite on these embossing folders? Does anybody have these yet? This is, I don't know if you can really see the hashtag one. That's a nice kind of little neutral one. In fact, now that we have this out, doesn't this look sad that it doesn't have any dots? Maybe it wants some polished pink dots. What do you think? Let's get you some dotties. There we go. It's happier now. It has some dotties. So we've got those, and let me, oh, where did I put our other ones that we made? I think they got buried underneath some other things as we kept going here. Oh, here it is. So here's the other one that we made earlier. So don't forget your in colors. Don't forget the annual catalog. Don't forget all these lovely little embellishments and things that might be going away. We just don't know. But for sure, check in tomorrow and figure out if there's some things that you absolutely need. The in colors and especially the ink refills, those tend to be some of the first things that go away, and they're already on low inventory. So don't wait. The new little sale, last chance stuff starts, I believe, April 4th. So don't hesitate. If there's something you want, don't wait till it's gone. So see you guys next week, and thank you, Doris, for the compliment, and have a good rest of your week. Take care. Bye.